Good evening, and I welcome you students for the topic of atoms and molecules. As we finish the topic of atoms and molecules, what we have done, students, we have finished atoms and molecules. It's a very important topic, and we want to solve questions from this topic. Before that, what we have learned from this chapter, student? What we have learned? What we have learned from this topic? What did we do in this topic? First, we discussed the laws of the chemical combination. Did we discuss the laws of chemical
Yes, sir.
combination? What are the two laws which we discussed?
Law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion.
Okay, we have discussed law of conservation of mass. What does it say that, students? What is law of conservation of mass?
It states that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed.
In
A
a,
total mass of reactants is equal to total mass of products.
so in a chemical reaction, the sum of the mass of reactants is always equal to sum of the mass of the products for an isolated system, for when reaction is performed in a closed manner. So mass cannot be created nor it can be destroyed. That was the first law. Then what was the second law which we studied? What was the second law? Law of definite proportion. What is the law of definite proportion?
Sir, it states that in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass.
In a chemical compound, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. I'm not talking of substance. Substance can have many compounds, many elements. I'm saying in a chemical compound. If I consider water, then I know that 2 grams of hydrogen and 16 grams of oxygen. So 1:8 is a ratio by mass, always, when we have H2O. These two laws are important. After that came the Dalton's atomic theory. After studying these laws of chemical combination, Dalton has given his atomic theory. But that was very important. What did Dalton said? What is the important points about Dalton's atomic theory, students? The smallest particle is atom. And this atom, what happens to it? It usually exists in the form of molecules. Molecules of the same element you have seen, and molecules of different elements form compounds. So atom is the smallest particle of the element that usually cannot exist independently and retain all the properties and retain all its chemical properties. And molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which can exist independently under ordinary conditions, and it shows the properties of the substance. This we have already said. Further, we told you, students, what is the valency? What is the valency? What is the meaning of valency, students? What is valency? When I say what is the valency of oxygen? How much is the valency of oxygen?
Valency of oxygen.
Combining capacity of an element. Oxygen combines with how many hydrogens? 2 hydrogens. What it forms? H2O. So you said the valency of oxygen is 2. And then we discussed the valency of nitrogen. For example, it combines with 3 atoms of hydrogen and forming a compound. This you are saying valency of nitrogen is 3. Carbon is combining with 4 atoms of hydrogen and you are forming a compound. The valency of carbon is 4. So like this, we talked of valency, students. Then for ions, what is the valency? The charge on the ions. Charge on the ions. If I say Cl minus, then you are saying the valency of chlorine is 1. And when I say oxygen, you are saying it is 2. Similarly, when I write Na, you are saying +1, calcium +2. So valency is the charge on the ions. After that, we were able to write the chemical formula of the compounds by a trick which we told you, crisscross method. We can use chemical formula of a compound, shows the constituent elements and the number of atoms of each combining elements. Chemical formula of the compound. When I say chemical formula, water is H2O. What it means? 2 atoms of hydrogen combines with 1 atom of oxygen when water is formed. If I say carbon dioxide, then you know 1 atom of carbon combines with 2 atoms of oxygen to form CO2, which is a compound. So the chemical formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. Chemical formula of water is H2O. Like this, we can represent the chemical formula of different compounds. So the chemical formula shows its constituent elements, and number of atoms of each. If I say this is a sodium hydroxide, it contains how many? 1 atom of sodium, 1 atom of oxygen, and 1 atom of hydrogen. So the elements which are present in it are sodium, oxygen, and hydrogen. And how many are present? 1, 1, 1. Like this, chemical formula will give us constituent elements and their number numbers. And we also talked of polyatomic ions. What were polyatomic ions? Cluster of the ions. When more than 1 atom is present in an ion, we call it polyatomic, and there is a fixed charge on this. And the chemical formula of a molecular compound is determined by the valency. And we have discussed what are ionic compounds. They are made up of ions. So what is happening? One of the atom is losing the electrons, other is gaining the electrons. And then we talked of atomic mass unit. Very important. And we used a scale U. What is U? Mass of one atom of an element. Mass of one unit, mass of one particle. What was that? 1 U equal to, you have seen it is very, very small number. Then we also talked of mole concept. What is a mole? Collection of 6.022 into 23 particles. What is the significance of this? This is exactly equal to 12 grams of carbon, C12 isotope. So this 1 mole is equal to 12 grams of the carbon, 12, because there are isotopes of the carbon. And we discussed with you students the molecular masses. And we discussed how by adding the relative atomic masses, we can get the molecular masses or molar mass, grams per mole. All this we have done. We discussed the molar mass, students, mass of, so molar mass, grams per mole, gram per mole. In 1 mole, how many grams are there? This table is available now, which we use in order to calculate the atomic molecular masses of different compounds by using these values. So molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of a substance. This is the mass of 1 mole of a substance. I hope we have done all this, student, and we can start question answer sessions. Is there any doubt in this? Any doubt exists, students?
No, sir.
Okay, let us see the question 1. We are talking of exercise from NCERT. Exercise is from NCERT book. This is your NCERT chapter number. Which chapter is this, students? Chapter 3. What we are discussing, students? NCERT exercise and chapter number 3, that is atoms and molecules. First question is on the screen, students. You are getting 2 minutes to answer this question. Read the question carefully and then you answer the question. Question number 1. 0.24 gram of a sample of compound of oxygen and boron. A compound contains oxygen and boron, 2 elements. Was found by analysis. What we do in chemistry, we do analysis, we do experiments, and they contain 0.096 gram of boron and 0.144 gram of oxygen. Calculate the percentage composition of the compound by its weight. All right, you have 2 minutes to answer the question. Then I am going to do it with you. Try it, students. I can take water. I always say water heal me, and I sip water. Water is a healer. Water is a great healer. It has energy, it heals us. How do I answer such questions, students? We must be able to write all the steps. 0.24 gram of a sample of a compound. Mass of the compound. How much is the mass of compound, students? This compound contains what? Oxygen plus boron. 2 things are present. What is the mass of the compound? 0.24 gram. Was found on analysis to contain, how much is the mass of boron in it? Mass of boron 0.096 gram. And what is the mass of oxygen? Mass of oxygen is 0.144 gram. Now, students, we have to find the percentage composition of boron. How will we find the percentage composition of boron, student? Of boron, how much is there? You have 0.096 total mass of the boron divided by mass of the compound. What I am doing? If I say this is M, this is M1 and this is M2, then what I am doing? M1 by M into 100. That is the percentage composition of boron. Mass of the boron is 0.06. Total mass of the compound is 0.24 into 100. What is the answer coming?
400%.
400%. How much is it? Percentage composition of the boron by weight is saying. By weight. How much will be this? 96 by 24. And you are having here 10 into 100. What is 960 by 24? How much is this?
40%.
This is grams now by weight. So you are getting 40. Okay? So you have 40% percentage composition of boron. How much? 40%. And what is the percentage composition of oxygen, students? Now it is clear. If total is 100, 40 is boron, then the rest will be 60%. You can still calculate using, you are given 0.144 divided by total mass 0.24 into 100. What is the value coming?
60, sir.
144 by 240 into 100. 60%. So the percentage composition, the compound contains 40% boron. Boron is how much? And oxygen is how much? 60%. This is how you write the answer, student. All right. Next question is on the screen, students. 3 gram of carbon is burnt in 8 gram of oxygen. 11 gram of carbon dioxide is produced. What mass of carbon dioxide will be formed when 3 gram of carbon is burnt in 50 grams of oxygen? Which law of chemical combination will burn your answer? You have 2 minutes to answer this question, students. How we answer such questions, students? What is the reaction? You have carbon and burning means it is reacting with oxygen to form CO2. The equation should be balanced because law of conservation of mass has to be applied. But we apply law of conservation of mass. Then we should have a balanced chemical equation, student. What it means by balanced chemical equation? We are going to do this in the next class also, which we have already uploaded in the YouTube. The number of atoms on the left must be equal to number of atoms on the right because atoms cannot be created or destroyed. They are exchanged in a chemical reaction. You know about that. So what has happened? 3 gram of carbon is reacting with 8 gram of oxygen and you will get 11 gram of CO2. Now students, question is, you have 3 gram of carbon and you have 50 gram of oxygen. Okay? Oxygen. What is the mass of CO2? You have to calculate mass of carbon dioxide produced. Okay, student.
$53 grams.
Answer is wrong. Because which law is important, student? What law? He is taking the law. Which law of chemical combination will operate? Law of definite. What is the law which we are using? Definite proportion. What it says? If carbon dioxide is there, then they must combine by a definite mass ratio. What is the mass ratio here? Carbon 12, oxygen is 32, 16 into 2, 32. What is that? 4, 3, and this is 8. That is what we are saying. The ratio is 3:8. The problem is you have only 3 grams of carbon. You have only 3 grams of carbon, students. And 3 grams of carbon will react with how much? 8 grams of oxygen. Okay? And forms how much? 11 gram of CO2. But now you have 50 gram of oxygen. Oxygen is in excess. This is present in excess, student. You will 3 gram of carbon will consume only how much? 8 gram of oxygen. And you will get how much? 11 gram CO2. This after this carbon is finished. There is no carbon, then what reaction can take place? When carbon is used up, can anything else happen? So what you will have? Excess oxygen left. Oxygen is in excess, student. What we are saying? Oxygen is in excess. After the reaction, what will happen? 50 gram of oxygen was present. How much is used? How much has been used? 8 gram. You will be left with 42 gram of oxygen. Left. Unused. Because carbon is finished. Got it? This carbon is not there. If carbon is finished, then what happens? The reaction will stop. And you will get only 11 gram of the CO2. This is what we call as a limiting reagent. Here, in this case, student, carbon is limiting reagent. It will limit the amount of product formed. Because it is present in lesser amount, it will exhaust, it will finish. Once carbon is finished, no reaction can take place. So what is the answer then? What our answer is then? Tell me, what answer we are writing? How many gram of CO2?
11 gram.
Because the question is, according to question, what mass of CO2 will be formed? Answer, 11 gram CO2 will be formed. So, student, important, note down. Once the carbon is finished, no more carbon dioxide can be formed. There is nothing to react with oxygen. That oxygen is an excess. That oxygen will be left unused in the reaction. And carbon is called the limiting reagent. The limiting reagent, the reagent which limits the amount of the product formed, because it doesn't exist now. It has completely reacted.
Sir, if it was mentioned in the question that if 6 gram of carbon is burned,
then I have to use it 6 per 6 gram. Then again I have to see that will use 16 gram, and then what will you get? 3 gram gives 11 gram. 6 gram will give how much? 11 into 2, 22 gram of CO2. Okay? If I increase this, then I will get more CO2. Then we have to see the ratio between carbon and oxygen is 3:8, student. This is the mass ratio in the CO2. Got it?
Yes, sir.
What law we are using? Which law we have used? Law of, what is the name of the law? Law of definite proportions have been used. Law of definite proportion. Important question, students. Such questions will be asked in the paper. What are polyatomic ions, student? What are polyatomic ions? You have been told about ions. What are polyatomic ions? What is the answer?
Sir, these are the group of atoms which consists of a charge.
Aggregate of atoms, which means there will be more than one atom. Okay? So, group of atoms. group or aggregate. There are aggregate student of atoms, aggregate of atoms which carry positive or negative. What charge they are carrying? Positive or negative charge? They carry positive or negative charge. They are called polyatomic ions. Example, student. Give me examples.
NaCl.
NaCl. NaCl is a ionic compound. That is a wrong answer. I am saying what ions you have studied? Ions. If I say Cl minus, this has only one atom. This is not polyatomic. This is not polyatomic. This is monatomic. But here, if I write CO3 2 minus, now how many atoms are there? 1 and 3, 4. And they are carrying a charge. What is this? Carbonate ion. You can have, this is called hydrogen carbonate or bicarbonate ion. Here you have not one, you have group of atoms, aggregate of atoms. I write ammonium ion, positive charge is there, and how many atoms are there? 1 or more than that? 5 atoms. 5 atoms are there. These are some of the examples, student. These are called polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions, student. So they are carrying some charge on that. Positive or negative. They can be positive or negative ions. It is a group or aggregate of atoms. More than one atom is present here, as you can see, student. Here you have 2 atoms. Like this. PO4 3 minus phosphate ions. We can have positive or negative ions. Students, they are called polyatomic ions. Right? If I write something like this, student, there is a positive charge and how many atoms? 3 plus 1, 4 atoms. See that? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question is coming, students. Write the chemical formula of the following. You have 1 minute for each question. 1 minute for each question, student. How to write the, we have shown you the trick to write the chemical formula. Important, such questions will be there in the paper. How to answer such question, student? Answer A. Magnesium chloride. Student, what is the valency of magnesium?
2.
What is the valency of Cl?
1.
Then what crisscross method? What it becomes, student?
MgCl.
MgCl. How much? MgCl2. What is the valency of calcium, students? What is the valency of calcium?
2.
What is the valency of oxygen?
2.
Then what it becomes, student? That means divide by 2. Copper nitrate. What is the valency of copper, students? Nitrate. What is the valency of copper? What is the valency of nitrate? Then crisscross. What will be the formula, student, then? What is the formula?
CuNO3.
Then we have to write in parentheses because it is a polyatomic ion. Polyatomic ion. Polyatomic ion. All right. Next question. Aluminium chloride. What is aluminium and Cl? What is the valency of aluminium, students?
Three.
Valency of aluminum 3. What is the valency of Cl?
1.
Then what is the formula?
AlCl.
AlCl3. All right. Now we have calcium and carbonate. What is the calcium and what is the formula of carbonate? What is the valency of calcium?
2.
What is the valency of carbonate?
1.
Carbonate 1, wrong. Carbonate is 2. Then what happens? Divide by 2, what you get?
CaCO3.
So you will get CaCO3. So we can see that how easily we can write the formulas if we know that method which we have discussed in our previous YouTube lecture. This is very important. Such questions will be there in the board exam. Next question is coming, student. Give the names of the elements present in the following compounds. All right, you have 1 minute for each question. How do we write the answer? A. What is the formula of quicklime, students? What is quicklime? Quicklime. But it contains CaO. Name the elements. What are the elements? Which elements are present? Calcium and oxygen. Next, hydrogen bromide, student. What is the formula of HBr? Now the name itself is giving us names of the elements. What you have?
Hydrogen and bromine.
Elements are hydrogen and bromine. Okay, next question, student. Baking powder. What the baking powder contains, student? Contains NaHCO3 or baking soda. What it contains? What are the elements?
Sodium,
We have to name the elements: sodium,
hydrogen,
hydrogen,
uh, carbon,
carbon,
oxygen.
oxygen. All right. Next question is on the screen, students. Potassium sulfate. What is the formula potassium sulfate? Name the elements present in it. What are the elements present in potassium sulfate?
Sir, potassium, sulfur,
Sulfur,
oxygen.
oxygen. All right. Is the correct answer. Note down everything, students. Okay, next question. Calculate the molar mass of the following substances. You have 1 minute for each question.
Sir, done.
All right. Answer AC2H2. What are the atomic masses, student? Carbon, how much?
12,
Hydrogen,
1,
sulfur, what is the atomic mass of sulfur? You don't know the atomic mass, how you have done it? What is the atomic mass of phosphorus? What is the atomic mass of hydrogen? 1. What is the atomic mass of Cl? Nitrogen. That should be known to us, students. How will we calculate? What will be the value here now? Carbon is 2. And what is hydrogen? What is hydrogen? How many? 2 into 1. So what is the answer coming? 24 plus 2. How much? 26 U. If I use, this is the mass of one molecule. Molar mass will be how much? 26 gram. ठीक है? 26 gram per mole. How do we write 26 gram per mole? What will be the S8? 8 into 32. How much it will come?
256.
If I write 256 gram per mole. Next, P4. How much it is coming? 124. That will mean 124 gram per mole. Next one, HCl. How much is that? 1 plus 35.5, which is equal to 36.5 gram per mole. Next, we are writing HNO3. 1 plus 14 plus 3 into 16. How much is that? 63 U 3 gram per mole. Note down everything, students. Next question, student. What is the mass of? You have 1 minute for each question. Answer A. What is the mass of 1 mole of nitrogen atom? 1 mole of nitrogen atom. What will be the mass of that? What is the atomic mass of nitrogen? 14 gram per mole. We say 14 U means mass of 1 atom of nitrogen. So how much it will be? 1 mole of nitrogen will be 14 gram. 4 moles of aluminium. Aluminium atoms. How much it will be?
108
108 what?
gram per mole.
So it is 108 gram per mole. It's not 4 moles. Why I am saying per mole? 108 gram. These are grams only because they have given the moles. 10 moles of 10 moles of Na2SO3. Okay, find out. Find out. What will be the molecular mass of Na2SO3? Find the molecular mass of Na2SO3. What is the atomic mass of sodium?
Twenty-three.
2 into 23 plus sulfur 32 plus 3 into 16. How much it is coming? 46 plus 32 plus 48. 6. 126 gram per mole. Then for 10 moles, how much it will be? 1260 gram. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question, convert into moles. Last time we have told you what is mole, how to get moles. If you want to calculate moles, then if you know the mass divided by the molar mass, this is giving us moles. So what will be the mass of, what will be the mole in 12 gram of oxygen gas? O2 gas will be O2. So what will be that? Well, what will be the molecular mass?
16.
16
32. 32.
one oxygen. So what you are getting? 4 3 the 4 8 the. What is the answer coming? How many moles? 3 by 8 moles. Okay, calculate. What is the answer coming? 20 gram of water. How many moles will be there? What is water H2O? Divided by, what is the molecular mass of water?
18 gram.
So what we are getting? 10 by 9. Find the value of 10 by 9. 22 gram of CO2. What is the molecular mass of CO2? 12 plus 32. What answer you will get? How many? What is the value coming? Okay. Answered? What is the mass of 0.2 mole of oxygen atoms? What is the formula? N is equal to mass by molar mass. Mass divided by molar mass. Moles. So what will be the answer? A 0.2 mole. M. What is the molar mass of oxygen atom?
32.
Oxygen atom. Atom. This is not a molecule. This is 0.2 mole. 0.2 mole is equal to M by 16 gram per mole. So what is M then? 0.2 mole into 16 gram per mole. How much it comes?
3.10
into 16. 3.2 gram. Okay. Next, 0.5 mole of water. 0.5 mole of water. Mass. What is the molar mass of H2O?
18.
So what is the value of this? 0.5 into 18. How much it is coming?
9 gram.
9 gram. Next question. Calculate the number of molecules of S8 in 16 gram of solid sulfur. Molecules he is saying. 1 mole is equal to how many particles? So first you calculate mole, then we will multiply. How many moles will be there? 16 gram, and you have acid. What is acid? How much it is coming? 256 gram per mole. What is the answer? How many moles? Then how many molecules? N into Na. What is Na? Avogadro's number. What is that value? 6.02 into this. 16 by 256. 6.022 into 10 power 23. All right, calculate the value. Calculate the answer. What you are getting? This will be very large value. You can calculate this value. It may come around 3.76 into 10 power 23 molecules. Next question. Calculate the number of aluminium ions present in 0.051 gram of aluminium oxide. What is the formula of aluminium oxide? Al2O3. Calculate the number of aluminium ions present in. You are given how much? 0.051 gram. How many moles are there? 0.051 divided by, what will be the molecular mass of Al2O3? 2 into 27 plus 3 into 16. How much is that coming? 54 plus 48 to 102 gram per mole. Okay. So what you are having? How many moles are there? 102 gram per mole, which is equal to 0.051 divided by 102 mole of Al2O3. But 1 mole of Al2O3 contains how many aluminium? 2 aluminium. There are 2. So how many moles of Al? How many moles of Al will be there? 2 into 0.051 divided by 102 mole. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So many moles of aluminium. Aluminium ions has same thing. Number of aluminium ions or aluminium will be same. I can also say aluminium ions, moles of. So moles of aluminium ions are also aluminium ions. How many? Same. And molecules or atoms, what he says? Calculate the number of aluminium ions. Then how many number of aluminium ions will be there? These are moles. Multiply by Avogadro's number. 0.051 divided by 102 into 6.022 10 power 23. Okay? That will be the number of aluminium ions. Calculate this value, students. It may come around 6.022 into, cancel everything, maybe around 10 power 20 ions. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, this ends up the complete exercise of NCERT chapter 3, atoms and molecules. Then we will be doing quiz and MCQ questions in the coming lectures. Bye bye. Then I see you in the next class. Keep on sharing our videos with your friends and ask them to subscribe, as we will be providing valuable information on the various important questions which are likely to be asked by the Cbse and other important exams. Okay, then meet you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.